Joe. He'll walk you through the concepts on the go. If there's any device you've got, see the show. Cowboy Joe. Cowboy Joe.
Howdy folks, this is Cowboy Joe here with a recapitulation of section C5.201, Ionic and Covalent Bonding. And your goal by the end of this video lecture will be to be able to explain why atoms join to form bonds, explain why some atoms transfer their valence electrons to form ionic bonds, while other atoms share valence electrons to form different bonds, differentiate between ionic, covalent, and metallic bonds, and compare the properties of substances with different types of bonds. You already learned that atoms are the most stable when their outer energy levels are full. One way to model an atom is using a diagram. Look at these flower diagrams. To represent a stable atom, the flower diagram must have 8 petals around the center. Assume that each petal represents an electron with a negative charge, and the centers of the flowers represent the positive charged nuclei. In order for these flowers to represent stable atoms, one petal from the flower on the right would have to be moved to the flower on the left. These flower diagrams are now stable. But what happened to their charges? The flower on the right lost 1 negative. So if it was neutral and it lost 1 negative, it actually is +1. The flower on the left gained an extra negative electron. So it is actually -1. Now, what do you think will happen to oppositely charged ions? Yes, they will attract each other. And if you understood that, you should be able to understand what holds bonded atoms together. Bonded atoms usually have stable electron configuration. We have pictured one hydrogen atom, which has 1 electron in its outer energy level, which only holds 2. But if we had 2 hydrogen atoms, then the resulting hydrogen molecule would attract those 2, and each would have 2 electrons in its outer energy level, which would be full. Since the outer energy levels would be full for both of these atoms, its electronic structure would be like the noble gas helium. So what holds bonded atoms together? Bonds can bend and stretch without breaking. Although a bar is sometimes used to represent a bond between 2 atoms, chemical bonds behave much more like flexible springs. Ionic compounds are in the form of networks of formula units, not molecules. When melted or dissolved in water, ionic compounds will conduct electricity. These ionic compounds are formed between 2 oppositely charged ions. For example, sodium on the left has 1 electron in its outer energy level, and chlorine on the right needs 1. So if chlorine attracts that 1, well then the sodium just lost a negative electron. Just like the flowers, it will become positively charged. The chlorine atom actually gained an extra negative, and it will become negatively charged. So now opposites attract, and that creates sodium chloride, which is a compound. Ionic compounds are in the form of networks of formula units, not molecules. When melted or dissolved in water, ionic compounds do conduct electricity. You can see in the diagram 1 formula unit. Metallic bonds are bonds formed by the attraction between positively charged metal ions and the electrons around them. Some of the properties of metallic bonds are they conduct electricity, they conduct heat, and are flexible. The important thing to note here is electrons move freely between the metal atoms. The last bond type is a covalent bond, and this bond is formed when atoms share 1 or more pairs of electrons. Covalent compounds can be solids, liquids, or gases. Bonds in which atoms share electrons equally are called nonpolar covalent bonds. For example, chlorine atom and another chlorine atom. They both need to share an electron in order for their outer energy level to be filled. That creates the chlorine molecule. Atoms do not always share electrons equally. An unequal sharing of electrons forms polar covalent bonds. Also, atoms may share more than one pair of electrons. For example, the oxygen will share two sets of electrons, creating a double covalent bond. Two nitrogens will share three pair of electrons, creating a triple bond. There are many common polyatomic ions. A polyatomic ion is an ion made of two or more atoms. Parentheses group the atoms of polyatomic ions. There are many common ions. These are some that you should become familiar with. An 8 ending is used to name an ion with more oxygen. For example, sulfate has one more oxygen, SO4, compared to sulfite, which has less. Nitrate, looking at the formula, is NO3. 8 means it has one more oxygen than NO2, which would be ite. Just like chlorate has one more oxygen, O3, than chlorite. And that's it. I explained why atoms sometimes join to form bonds. I explained why some atoms transfer their valence electrons to form ionic bonds, while other atoms share valence electrons to form different bonds. And I differentiated between the ionic, covalent, and metallic bonds. And finally, compared the properties of substances with different types of bonds. Until next time, Cowboy Joe out.
Cowboy Joe. Cowboy Joe.